when you guys do this handle, make sure this lever, when you take it off, that you don't damage the actual switch that's down here at the bottom.
So just be mindful of that. Looks pretty cool. For $1 is a shocker.
Welcome to Chasing 299. We're excited to introduce our third episode in the MT09 build series. Man, we are stoked to be here. Once again, a massive shout out to Two Wheels One family, our biking family that have been a massive help to us, sponsoring us these crash protection for the MT09 build, and a beautiful EP radiator guard. And yes, we're going to be putting on these pretty shortly.
So guys, the tools that we're using for this job is a metric 5 Allen key, a metric 3 Allen key, a metric 2.5 Allen key, a 10mm ratchet spanner, a ratchet with a short extension, and a 10mm socket. So what we have to do is remove this silver plate on the top by removing the two bolts, and it'll reveal the holes for the bolts to go through. So there's the holes inside, so that you only see these beautiful ones, not the ugly ones that go through. And we're going to continue and show you some more cool stuff. So guys, here at the radiator we have the a little like mounting bracket here that connects to nowhere really significant. It tucks in here behind the frame, but that's the mounting screw for the radiator on this side. Actually, what we're going to do is remove this bolt, and the radiator guard literally fits in at that same point there. We'll show you in a second. So guys, there's these two bolts on the right hand side of the bike. To actually mount the mounting bracket, you need to remove both these bolts on this side. One holds the fan, one holds the radiator, so you have to remove them both. At this stage, we're removing the two mounting brackets from either side of the radiator guard to slide it into place and then mount the brackets afterwards, because it won't actually slide on due to the fact that this sits right up against the radiator itself. When Dad and I were installing this bad boy, we realized that there's a mistake with the design, that there should be some sort of spacer in here. So Dad and I made some leather spacers for this side, where the other side already had a spacer. So we made ourselves a spacer on this side, and now we're just fastening these bad boys and getting them ready to go, and then we'll move on to the crash protection. So remember guys, the most important thing for us is keeping the bike safe. Alrighty, so from what I understand, I believe it goes like here. I have no idea where this thing goes. Okay, now that we've figured out the way it's going to go, I believe it goes here, between this bolt here and this bolt here. So we're going to undo those bad boys. I believe we use the shorter bolts of the two, because there's another pair of longer bolts in here. We use the shorter pair with the shorter spacers to mount these bad boys. So let's see how that goes. Alrighty guys, there we go. The last little bit of this right hand side. A little bit of a struggle to find out which hole it was, but we got there in the end.
Remember, when you're working on your engine casing bolts and your suspension and anything with major torque on it, remember to use a thread locker when you're putting your bolts back, boys and girls.
Alrighty guys, I believe on this side we have this bolt here and the bolt directly across from it as the 2 mounting bolts, and we're going to go ahead and remove those and install it. Alrighty guys, so as we said before, use Loctite on your engine bolts. Anything that's got significant amount of torque, you definitely want to have that Loctite on there. And then you should be doing this with a torque wrench. No one's going to deny that, but you know, when your torque wrench is in here or you don't own one, just make sure it's tight.
Not too freaking tight.
Alrighty, so after we've now installed and fastened that engine bolts on either side, we just put on the casings again, make sure that everything looks pretty and nice, and we're good to go, ready to rumble. This bad boy looks good, it's protected, and it's got the Chasing 299 stamp of approval.
Actually, at the end of the day, we're sitting and we finished the bike, and then there's this big job of packing away and tidying up the tools and putting them away so that when we get back into doing the next job, we know exactly where we are. And we've got the co-executive managing director, Spanner Boy.
Yeah, you can just call me Bob, John, Diesel, as long as you don't call me a boob. So guys, we've wrapped up the bike, we've installed the crash protection and the radiator guard. They look immaculate. This is actually one of the best crash protections I've seen style wise, not necessarily the best protection wise. I still think the Oggies would be better, but they really do look amazing. They look amazing. But the radiator guard itself looks really good. It's got some of the best protection that we've seen. We'd also like to thank again the wonderful people from Two Wheels One Family, Soho and the bunch of band there. They're a wonderful family and they help us out all the time. We love riding with them. Guys, if you come to Brisbane and you guys want to hook up a ride, the Two Wheels One Family rides are the best rides to hook up and go on. At this time, we would like to thank all of our patrons for all of their great support. We'd like to thank Edward, Joseph S. or Stefan, guy who came down with the empty meat for us, Robert, Jake for joining recently, Bradley, Suvaris, I think that's his name, I apologize if I got it wrong, Nicholas and Jenny. Thank you very much guys for all of your support, and a big thank you to one of our biggest supporters, Cornay, the only $50 patron at this stage. Remember guys, we have changed our pay scheme. We're going from that larger amounts to smaller amounts because we want to make it more pleasable for the people who don't have as much money or think that it's a rip-off. We're making it for you. We want you to be involved, even if you think this isn't worth it. $5 a video is what you pay for a coffee. You can get in at $5 a video, get 10 tickets and win. We're going to keep building at this and keep on making it better. Keep chasing.
299.